Okay, I'll call to order the Selectmen's meeting March 5th, 2024 at 4:30. First order of business, we pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Approval of the minutes for February 20th. You guys have a chance to look at those
I'll make
minutes?
a motion to accept the minutes as printed.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Approval of public hearing minutes February 20th for the change in fees.
Motion to accept the minutes as printed.
You're just missing an S in the first sentence there. In members. People present. Should say members of the public. It's on all of the public hearing minutes.
Oh, okay.
but-
Yeah, okay. I'll be small.
So with that change, we have a motion
Motion to approve as amended.
as amended.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Approval of public hearing minutes February 20th budget ordinance.
Same amendment. Motion to approve as amended.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Approval of public hearing minutes February 20th, 5-member select board.
Same amendment. Motion to approve as amended.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Approval of non-public minutes February 20th made public. I don't think that has that.
I saw those ones. Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Approval of the manifest. Manifest for March 4th through March 11th, 2024. Payroll, $33,480.03. Payroll liabilities, $10,022.18. Accounts payable, $78,895.83. And the elementary school, $250,000, for a total of $372,398.04.
Motion to accept the manifest.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, if we're gonna go to public comment. Before we start public comment, how many people would like to speak in public comment?
That guy does.
Okay. What's his name?
Rick.
Rick, you're on.
Ah,
Public comment.
Not easy.
Yes, sir.
I had to prove to my supervisors that I came here.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm with the federal agency, SBA. Like you all know, we work jointly with FEMA. We are not regular SBA. We are the Office of Disaster Assistance, and we are visiting all the town cities in Carroll County and Cows for multiple reasons. Because this is related for the disaster on Maine between December 17 and 21. But Carroll County, all the cities and towns in Carroll County, this is a contiguous county, a secondary county of the primary counties in Maine that they are very affected. Of course, you all here don't see and don't have physical damages on homeowner businesses, of course, but we are visiting to share the information about the SBA, what's our relationship with FEMA, so you all can help us also sharing the information with the citizens. We want to reach the most survivors as possible. We call the people that is affected in a disaster, in a presidential declaration, survivors. So, to summarize, we are SBA, but we don't only assist businesses, but also homeowners, renters, and nonprofits. That's always very important to know. All these federal funds are only for the past disasters. It's not like a person can come here, hey, I had a disaster months ago or years ago. It's only between the incident period. We have different programs. We have programs for physical damages and economic damages. We might have grants, we have loans, we are like FEMA and USDA, we have different types of programs. But we always provide individual assistance. That means that we never provide public assistance like for government, for road, bridges. USDA and FEMA, of course, they have all that kind, they are bigger than us. So I brought some flyers, some general information that is very helpful for possible future events. The fact sheet, that's the, I'm gonna give the flyers. The fact sheet, the second page is where you can find all the details, the deadline. Here, because Carroll County is a secondary county, the survivors, the people, they can apply for physical damages. Of course, because they don't have physical damages, but they can apply for economic damages. That's the businesses and some non-profits. What that means, if a business here had a relationship with a business in the primary counties of Maine, of course, if those businesses there are affected, you can be affected here, the businesses. That's why they can apply. Of course, if because of that disaster that happened in Maine, the roads or bridges were closed, or you didn't have the lights, or the people moved to different cities, counties, or towns. Of course, the only businesses that they improve their sales are the hardware. So, but the other ones, when the people move to other counties, you have less people that they are going to spend the money in your business. And the people, let's say that if they visit constantly, if they do shopping, if they visit restaurants, they now need the money to rebuild quicker. So we are an alternative to FEMA. So I'm going to give this example because it's very important. I know that this is a secondary county, but for possible future events, the people sometimes, because we have different programs. I brought the flyer for, you can find the SBDC, a Small Business Development Center. They work for the state and the SBA, and they know all about these programs. They have business advisors, they know about marketing, they know about business plans, they can find grants. So that's one of the purposes.
Right.
But as a general rule, sometimes we have forgiveness, or we don't have forgiveness. We are, that most of the times we are not grants, and the people get discouraged with us, and that's why we visit, because hey, we are more than that. The name doesn't mean the thing. Always complete the procedures with the SBA. That's more for homeowners and renters. When you are a primary county, hey, always complete the procedures with the SBA. If you are denied by FEMA, and then you are denied by SBA might refer you back to FEMA, and FEMA might give you all the other disaster assistance like grants. So no fees to apply, you don't have to accept it. So that's one of the procedures that the people need to comprehend. Hey, always, if you don't want to apply with the SBA, if you don't qualify, hey, that denegation letter is important, because you are proving that you are being proactive with the federal agency's procedures. That's one very important thing. Physical damages, what that means. Damages for infrastructure, real estate, inventory, equipment. You know that doesn't apply here, but I'm just saying, the one that applies here is the for economic damages. That's for losses on profits, for denied expenses. So that's the meaning of economic damages for secondary counties. So I know that you can see the physical damages, but we are still important, because you know that you can have people here they living with their families here from Maine, or people, you can have citizens here that they have families from Maine. So that's what we know, that we are a melting pot, and we see that a lot, that the people move to live. So yeah, I don't want to bother you all with all this. Yeah, I speak a lot. I love to speak. You can stop me at any moment. So I'll give you all the. I have one here. I have, because I'm running low on flyers.
Sure.
But I have with this one, I have only for this one is for primary counties, but it's very important. The FEMA and SBA relationship. This is the only one with this flyer, so okay. I'm gonna. But and here you can see. Here you can see our resource partners for veterans, for women, and the link for small business development centers. Mm-hmm. So that's a very good resource. And of course, we have in every state, so very valuable in this page. Something quickly, of course. Here, or the DRCs and BRC locations, what that means, disaster recovery centers, those are from FEMA. If a person go to a DRC from FEMA, they can apply with FEMA and SBA, same day, same building, no duplication of benefits. we have BRCs also. BRC means Business Recovery Centers. Those are from SBA. So if a person visit a BRC, they can only apply with the SBA. So that's very important to know. Here are the locations of the centers with the times, the addresses, everything. So very helpful flyer. Also this one. So yeah, if my accent is weird, I'm from Puerto Rico, but they choose us because we know a lot about disasters. You know, we always have the, hurricanes, every kind of disaster, and all kind of disaster. If you know what that means.
Yes, sir. No,
So yeah.
it's a very good presentation, and
Yeah.
I think it's something
Let
that some people may be able to take advantage of.
And for the it's also important because for the future, most of the procedures are the same. What is going to change? The deadlines? Of course, the deadline that is approaching is the one for physical damages April 1. That doesn't apply here, but the one that applies here is for economic damages. We always give 6 months to apply. So you already know
Right.
that deadline that is very important. We don't say this to the survivors, but I always say this to the government about we always give 2 weeks grace period, and usually FEMA they do that too. That means if you apply late, but of course when you apply late for something, you have to justify why you are applying late, and that doesn't mean that they are gonna guarantee you that you are gonna, you know what I'm saying.
Yes,
So
yes, sir.
we don't want people applying late for federal programs.
Well, thank you very much. I think it's something that we will make sure that.
I live more. Yeah.
Sure.
Oh,
Thank you.
perfect, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you
Good
so
job.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, moving on to discussion items and new business. Maintenance of the solar array area. I see
There was
field
a letter
visit.
there from Noreen hoping
Mhm.
that she could enlist the DPW to take care of that, I'm assuming, once
Once the snow goes
the
away.
snow goes away, yeah.
So Dave, have you seen this letter for the solar array?
I don't
Um,
think so.
Okay, so apparently Revision Energy visited the solar array for an inspection in November 8th of 2023. And they had 2 recommendations. One, that the gate be locked into the solar array, and that 2, mowing and cutting of vegetation in the gated area. I don't know what the ground's like there, but I think we're gonna have to really look at that and sling something up and hit a solar panel. I mean,
Yeah,
hand prune.
I'm surprised to hear that it's unlocked, because we do check it every now and then. And
It may have been, this was back in November, so it may have been just for that day, but
yeah, I'd be hesitant to use a weed trimmer up in there. I don't know enough about those solar arrays, and what kind of damage a rock can do to them.
Right.
You know, so,
no, it's something that we can discuss once. I don't think anything's growing right now, so.
no, but I'll put it on our list up at the garage, and I'll talk to Josh about it.
Take a
and
look.
We'll
Okay,
get a plan going forward.
thank you. Any discussion, guys? No? You good?
No.
All right, rec program payment option. I see the, oh, go ahead, Andy, you
Well,
talk
yeah, Heather
to the
came in
bank.
and asked about giving an option to receive rec payments by something like a Venmo or a Square kind of idea. And my first thought was that I knew it had to be attached to some kind of account, and I wasn't real warm and fuzzy about it being a general fund, so I got in touch with Christy at the bank. And she said that there are other towns that do that kind of thing. They set up a special checking account just for that purpose, so only the money from those kinds of things comes into that account. And then at that point, Jordan would be responsible for transferring that to the proper account. It's a possibility. I don't understand how fees work and that kind of thing, or because I know that wouldn't be something that we'd absorb. The person using that form of payment would
System.
absorb that fee. And the other thought is that there'd have to be some kind of a good list of what got taken in on those apps and things like that, because at the end of the month when we get the statement, a little less work for Jordan to try and have to decide which one goes in, like the revolving, if it was a donation versus a rec fee or something like that. So I talked to Jordan. She's she would, you know, make those transfers and the kind of thing, if we had it all set up. So I kind of just did the legwork to give you guys an idea of what it would,
Do we know if this is just for fees, or if it will also be for donations? And I think we'd run into a problem there, just based on the fact that for fees, the rec department can offset whatever the, there's gonna be a fee for that, back to the consumer. But for a donation,
okay.
there'll be a fee, so will that come off the donation?
We need to look into what the fees are for each program and decide which program we wanna use, really. I don't know what Venmo
I think
charges,
we
I
should
don't
just
have it.
pick one.
Yeah.
I think
Somebody
enough,
pays for something, but
Yeah.
I don't know how that works.
I don't either, but I think it's something, I think it's important to look at whatever programs they're thinking of using and selecting one, because I don't want Jordan to have, you know, 2 or 3 different,
Well, it may not matter if they're
Income.
attached to the same bank account, but
yeah, I don't know exactly how either
But
works.
it just have to be something that would document
Where it's,
how that money got there and where it's supposed to go.
right,
And when you say the donation, or maybe I misunderstood, but the donation part, I know that Heather had said, you know, they received a donation for someone from $20, the person wrote it a check, but had the option been there, you know, at the event, they just could have said,
Swiped
you know,
or something,
yeah,
sure.
send it this way to us kind of thing, and it would have
Right.
been, there's a
Okay.
chance that there would be,
well, we can look into that.
Yeah, we'll look into it. Is it that big an issue?
it's definitely helpful to the citizens to be able to pay that way. A lot of people prefer it nowadays, nobody carries cash and hardly, not very many people write checks anymore. But, we just need to know what the fees are for Venmo or Square or whatever, and like, I don't think it would be a big deal to use both because they'd be attached to the same account. Heather just needs to keep proper track of what they are, we need to
Yeah.
figure out how to do that.
And I guess if the fees are different, because you're gonna,
Right,
as far as I can see, the rec department, if it was a $30 fee, some sign up or whatever, it would then become a $32.50 or whatever.
Right.
Just as, the same as if you use a card for your
Right.
registration upstairs.
well, I did ask Mike about that today with the fee, and it comes in as 2 separate, like into your checking account, it would come in as $100 for the car registration, and then whatever it is, $2.95, a
Convenience
separate
fee.
fee, you get 2 things hit your account.
Okay.
So the $2.95 fee doesn't really have anything to do,
Oh,
you know, that company gets
Yeah.
gets that.
good,
so
good.
that would be, yeah,
I'm
if
for it.
Square
I mean,
operates
I
the
think-
same way, that would be
I think it's a
probably the way to go.
convenience.
it's-
I think
yeah.
it's a good convenience to offer to the parents, especially, like you say, they're on the run.
Yeah.
And they get there and, go ahead, Mike.
If you're gonna set something up, I would insist with the vendor that it be that way.
Right,
You don't wanna have to be in a position to have to parcel the money due to you and then pay out the fees.
Right.
Have them structure it so the fees are separate, they just take them, you never see them. And the rest just flows into your account the way that you want it. That's how we have the town clerk motor vehicle account set up that way, and same with the tax account. Anything that's done online where those fees are involved, Invoice Cloud carves off their fees, we never see them. And the town's money goes into the town's accounts, and we don't, Jordan doesn't have to do anything special other than sort it out within the town as far as where they want it to go on QuickBooks, but that's a treasurer thing that she does.
Okay. Yes.
Hi, Joy Gray. So we used Square with the PTO,
Mhm.
and it's easy to set up a menu, such as select from a drop-down, this is what I'm paying for. So you could set it up so they very specifically, it is signed that we are paying for the summer camp fees. You're paying for that. And it's customizable, and you can close that menu when summer camp's over, and they'll then open up, here are the soccer registration fees. So it's actually really convenient, and people know exactly what they're paying for, and Jordan will be able to track that very easily.
Okay.
The other part is they automatically withdraw, I think it's 1% or something is the fee that they do. Square would automatically withdraw that from the account on a regular basis. Another thought was
Wait,
that-
hold on, back up.
Sure,
Drop from the
the
deposit account
transactions.
or from the person making the transaction?
They collect the money, Square does, and then you set a schedule for when it transfers into the account. So before they transfer it, they take their fee.
Okay.
So they're taking their fee out of our end.
Right.
Yeah. And then the other piece, what I thought about would be using, since we have the EFT for donations, possibly setting up Venmo for that. That way donations and fees stay into two separate accounts, since that's what the EFT was set up for. And I don't think there are any fees associated with Venmo, and that's very easy to
All right,
do.
well,
going forward.
thank you. We'll definitely look at
Yeah, we need to look into
a
the
couple, three
fees.
programs and
Yeah.
fees and such, and we'll get back on that, absolutely. I think it's a great idea, but we'll, I guess, reset it for after town meeting, and we'll have some answers by then.
Does it sound like the square gives, you can like get a statement or something like that? Is that
Yeah.
how that
Yeah.
works?
Yeah, you can, but,
Well, that would be that would be helpful to have something.
but if they're
Tracking.
taking their cut off of the town side of it, we just went through the fees.
Right.
And that'll, I mean, I think,
It
Yeah.
would, sorry,
no, go ahead, finish.
you can do reports, charts, graphs, download a spreadsheet.
Yes, sir.
I have a couple of small businesses, I use Square all the time. It was around 4%, they've just gone up. I don't know what it is now, it might be as much as 6 to 8% now that they're big, but it is customizable that you can hit a service charge for certain transactions. So if you're gonna use a credit card, you're gonna use Square, you can. So if it is 6%, you can add 6% onto the invoice, and like she said, it automatically,
Okay,
before it comes over, it does automatically take it out,
Right.
and you do never see it, but you can print up any financial reports that you want it to print up. It does print up any sort of monthly or detailed or yearly or however you want it. We use
Okay,
it
good.
for our tax accounts.
thanks. All right, moving forward, assignment of warrant articles for town meeting.
If you were interested, I used to do it in the past, and then a couple of years you didn't, and I didn't know if you guys were interested in
Yeah,
deciding that or not.
I don't,
Mike wants them all.
Mike, you want them all?
I already have to
Well,
write
Mike-
about all of them.
Yeah.
Well, I
I'm
think,
not gonna,
you
I'm
know,
not gonna
since it's,
speak to any of them.
since it's not our meeting, the moderator kind of runs, I'm sure we'll have comments for different warrant articles from different people, so.
Yeah, it's fine, it's not.
We're okay, but I'm glad you asked the question. All right, we do have quite a few non-publics at the end, so Adam, you have a list?
Just that I'm doing some more digging into what we're gonna do with the ball field, and it sounds like we've got a slew of volunteers, and the material is local and at Ospey Ag. Spoke to a few local contractors who are willing to help, so we might have more help than I originally anticipated, which is good.
That's great.
Weather is gonna depict everything, when we can get out there, whether it's done before the start of baseball or in the middle of the season, who knows, but
And I think you said it's gonna look like Fenway Park when you're all done.
yes.
Okay. Perfect.
Not a lot. We took in 2 new containers at the transfer station. One for MSW, or compactors, and another one for cans. We're in the process of doing a little bit of rearranging up there in the near future to get, worked out fine this week. We're filled up on MSW. We called Dave, came down on Saturday, swapped the container out, and we were back in business less than 1 hour from the time I placed the call to him. The time was operating. That's gonna be a big help in the summertime. That's all I got.
And I have no list, we're coming up on elections next Tuesday and then town meeting, so we've got a lot ahead of us. Linda?
So the auditors were here all week, are here all week, just saying that out loud. Our website is the new version, and we're really pretty sure that most everything is taken care of. There were a few links that were off when the whole thing got switched over, and they mostly affected Mike's department. But the vendor's gone through and pretty much fixed all those, and she said if there's anything that comes up wonky, don't hesitate to say something, and we can still fix all that. Just to update you on the Gage case with the ZBA. I did get in touch with Cordell. He's moving forward with getting a letter together that would go to the court. I sent him everything from the ZBA application, all the minutes from that, anything that I had in the folder. And he's putting that letter together. It's like anything, it's gonna take time because the letter goes, there's so many days to allow this and so many days to allow that and that kind of thing. So, but it's moving forward.
Moving to the
You did
courts.
confirm that Gage didn't appeal to any of the higher
We
courts
did,
himself?
yeah, that was our first delay, but we did find out that he didn't appeal to the court or the housing appeals board.
Thanks.
So we're
Mike?
looking for the court to place the judgment in our favor. That's the plan.
That's the plan.
Well, to be able to, so that we can collect the fees, right, because
And the fees go back to what point in time?
The way I understand it was when he got that final denial from the ZBA, so it's like mid-January,
Okay.
is
And
when
that's-
they go back to.
And that would be $275 a day.
Yeah.
Excuse me, Paul McCown. Because this is all new,
Yeah, it's for everybody.
okay? What leverage do you have if he just blows you off? He says, I'm not gonna pay. Do you have any idea? You may not.
That's why we're going to the court, so that they.
Yeah, the court,
The court is our leverage.
Well, hypothetically, the court says, okay, you gotta pay. Now, it goes back to the town. So, he says, no, I'm not gonna pay, or he just doesn't pay. Can you attach his taxes? Is there anything you can do?
I'm sure there's more than one option, but we need to decide
I
which
have
one's
no
right.
idea. That's why I'm asking.
I think you actually lien the property.
Okay, so if he was to sell it,
Correct.
that would be attached to the lien to the sale of the property.
Yes.
Very good.
Yeah, well, we're trying, we really are. And I appreciate your help too, I really do, and your patience.
Well, at times,
I understand.
no, at times we get a little rowdy, I do
No,
personally,
no.
and I'm sorry if I
No,
do.
you're,
Okay?
that's why we're up here.
It's just that it's so close to me.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Michael?
Couple of things specific with the July disaster declaration. The gentleman who was our lead liaison with FEMA had been in New Hampshire since December 2021. They finally let him go back home to Louisiana. So we have a new one, and I have a kind of an introductory phone call with that gentleman tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock. And it sounds like he intends to do a weekly telephonic communication, which is, I think, gonna be helpful. Just letting you know, nobody, I'll figure it out tomorrow, see what it's gonna be like, and then maybe I need to bring somebody else on but I don't know what it's gonna be until it happens. So.
And what disaster is this covering?
This is just the July one, the one that we're already active with.
Okay.
I heard on the television that a disaster was declared for December, but I haven't seen anything specific.
I did hear that too.
I haven't gotten any direct phone calls from the state at all, but we had very minimal. Frankly, the damages we had in December were also damaged in July, so one way or another,
So-
it's getting fixed. And
So this time frame fits Modoc Hill.
correct, that's the different piece. If they actually did do a declaration for December, that would bring Modoc Hill into the envelope
Okay.
because it wasn't damaged in July, and none of us can explain why that was. But, so,
I still can't follow why we didn't get a declaration for May 1st.
and
We're all shaking our heads on that.
you got me there too. You never can tell. So that's gonna happen tomorrow. I'll give you an update in 2 weeks. Probably have 2 or 3 calls by then. I don't know. Who knows? Second thing I have is it's a question that I've got no less than 3 solicitations. It's like the blood's in the water and the vultures are circling. This guy, it's Coast to Coast Solutions. His name was Tyler D. And he wanted to sell me promotional products as the emergency management director, like little gift bags with my name and phone number on them, or little pens. And if I bought 1,000 of them, he'd give me some free Yeti tumblers. I'm not into that, but
Paul's a member.
he told me that, like, you know, the unit price for these gift bags were $2, and this is a discount. Now, but it's only today, the best deal you can.
Hurry.
$2.29, and you got to buy them by the case. And how much is in the case, you wonder? Well, 1,000.
Here's
So-
Madison PD's pamphlet on scams.
Well, anyway, I talked about, I didn't commit to anything, Bob. You'll be proud.
That's excellent.
So I told the guy, I said, listen, I said, I don't have a very big budget on the emergency management side, frankly. And I said, I can't spend $1 without approval from my selectmen. But good news for you, they meet tonight. So I'll bring it up and I'll call you back in the morning. So with your permission, I'd like to tell the guy that I'm not interested. But unless you want some tumblers, I'm really not interested. Because if it's a matter of money, he can sell me some Mardi Gras pens. And there's only 500 in that case, and they're only $1.39 a piece.
It's good, Mardi Gras is over.
I don't even know what a Mardi Gras pen is.
Huh?
And if I got the Mardi Gras pens, he'd give me some free emergency blankets.
Okay, so
This is
next Fat Tuesday, we'll have to think ahead.
exactly, but it sounded more legit than not, but it's also got the real feel of a scam. So, with your permission, I'd like you to tell me not to spend any money on this stuff.
Don't spend any money on any promotional.
I appreciate it.
I do like a good Yeti tumbler.
Would like a nice Yeti tumbler.
There's a company out in New York called Myron Enterprises. We used to get calendars from them at one time, here,
My guess is it
It's the
would
same
be one
idea.
tumbler,
you know.
Or
Same idea.
share,
because those things are like $60 a piece.
just share.
You already hit it. It's kind of, the ice is really getting questionable now, so I hate to say it every week, but please, if you haven't enjoyed the ice yet, don't try to now. It's too late. Let it go and try it again next year. Everything's opening up.
Pretty
There's really soft ground in places it hasn't been before. Very weird to me how the frost, it almost never got established like it normally would. There's the end of Go Hill Road before you get to the pavement, you can sink in a foot, and that's never happened before. It's just a very different, odd year, so be careful on the dirt roads. Stay toward the center if the oncoming traffic permits you to do so, because if you get too close to the edge, you're likely to sink. Just be careful, and if you don't need to travel on the roads, or you know where the bad roads are, if you don't need to travel them, don't. Give them time to, unfortunately, we're gonna get 1.5 inches of rain tonight, so they're not gonna dry out anytime soon, so. And the DPW is doing the best that they can, and there's very, very little they can do right now. I know people have an expectation that because we have a grader, they should just shoot out and grade the road and smooth it up. You can't do that. That's a 12-ton machine with wheels on it. Yeah, you can smooth it up, but where are the real wheels gonna go? They gotta go through that, and they're gonna put ruts in it. Soft ground is soft ground. There's nothing they can do to firm it up except wait. We need some sunshine. We need some breezy, dry conditions to let the ground dry. It needs to dry, and so just
They did North Division yesterday and already today showing a lot of wear.
it's.
They did the best they could.
There's only so much you can do, and there's still got truck traffic, although with the road postings, the truck traffic should have stopped by now. But it's still ordinary passenger cars, it's all that's been up my road, and you can sink in, a 3,000-pound car will sink in too.
I will say today in Effingham, on one of the main travel road, a car had to get towed out of the road because it sunk so deep. School buses couldn't use it, and they had to bring gravel in, try to firm it up enough so the school buses could get through. That's just how bad it is.
People just need to be reasonable. It's a bad time of year, and unfortunately, it's coming at us sooner than usual. And we don't know, is it gonna get cold again and maybe change, or are we in this for a longer period of time this year? We won't know until it happens, but just be reasonable, appreciate everything that you do have, and stay safe. If you're safe, don't put yourself in an unsafe situation, you'd be okay.
Dave?
As Mike said, the crews were out on North Division Road, Deer Drive, Colby Hill, Winter Road, Maple Grove, and we are in spring conditions, and there are some of the worst conditions we've seen, and he hit the nail on the head. When it's raining, we can't do anything with it. You put the grader on and you're gonna have mud bowl south down here. It's just, our hands are tied, and we know, we understand, that it's hard to get through, but it is what it is. Until we get some dry weather, they're talking about snow Sunday, I think. And who knows, we may not even be able to go on the dirt roads. So, that being said, Mike pretty much took care of most of it. The crews we dealt with some trees down over the windstorms last weekend, probably Mike did too, I guess. That's in pretty good shape, because we've had really slow snow plowing month. We've been doing some spring cleaning on the buildings and the trucks. We got the wood chipper in and serviced up, ready to go for high limbing. We're gonna, as soon as we get dried out, we're gonna be right out there doing that. On the maintenance side, I set the coach car down to have the driver's door rehung. It was sagging, and I went down to Eckhouse Auto Body, and it was fairly in depth. They had to take the front fender off, get the hood lined up. They found a couple other little problems that they squared away for us, but in the end, it was just labor, and I think that it was $450. So that got straightened out and back into service for this Monday morning. As Mike said, the roads had been posted last week. We had a couple calls. People want to know if they can take their furniture trucks or appliance trucks up the road. So we deal with those on where they're going. If they're going up Pound Road just on the pavement, that's probably not a problem. On the transfer station side of it, yesterday John and I met with NRRA member, that's the Northeast Resource and Recycling Association out of Concord. He came down from Lancaster and met us at the transfer station, took a lot of pictures. Very pleased with what he saw. He said it's one of the cleanest transfer stations he's seen. That's good to know, gave us some good ideas. He's sending me some emails on grants that can be had for a transfer station, on our waste oil, on the glass. And he's helping us out with new venues on the light iron and the aluminum cans. And one of them is what we discussed with Harding Metal. And he's going to contact them for us, actually, and see what we can do with that. This afternoon, the covers for those demo containers came in. They're up here, came in late this afternoon, so I still have to empty them this week. I have 3 up there still to go. Then we'll get them on for the weekend, so if we do get snow Sunday, you can have them covered up. Other than that, I think that's about all we have. Oh, this morning, the crew went down to Concord for a flagger certification. So that was put on by Primex, and all 5 of us went down. And for some of us, it was a refresher and recertification. Some it was new. So that's to deal with the traffic and stop and go and traffic control. So we all learned something new, that's for sure. And we're back here on new time. So there's that.
Just bouncing off of that, there's enough lives lost flagging, and I'm glad you guys got the training, but please be careful when you're out there. People don't pay attention. I don't want to see anybody get hurt.
I think from my experience, it's always been speed. It's, they don't even think about slowing down. But it's not a lot, it's, you get that.
They see that yield sign, turn around from the stop sign, they're going.
Yeah.
And that's,
Yeah.
it's
It's
not.
almost an attitude thing, you're holding them up and they're gonna get through one way or another, but it happens. And it did happen in Wolfboro last year, the year before last, when the DPW workers was hit. been seriously injured. So, it happens.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for your work too. Chief King.
We actually had in Ossipee, longer than I care to admit now, Joe Duchesne, who works as our part-timer now, got hit on Route 25 during the old home week. Back then, it was about 15,000 people that went to Constitution Park. And at the last second, turned around and looked, and there was a car going the speed limit on Route 25. We had it shut down to about 35. There were fire trucks, police trucks, police cars, and we had the fire trucks with their scene lighting, and still just chasing butterflies and not paying attention. So it happens a lot. Thankfully, he wasn't seriously injured. He had to be checked out. But in any event, when that does happen in Madison, we do have sometimes we'll have some companies that come around for tree trimming. You see them every day. There are sometimes they do not have flaggers. It is a rule, especially of ours, that if they're going to be shutting down a lane of traffic, they have to have it. So if you or anybody else in your travels see a company on the side of the road running one way and all their workers are working, let me know. They'll either get traffic out or I'll shut them down.
So is that town-owned roads or state road?
Yeah, state roads and town roads. So
Good enough.
it's also a Department of Labor requirement that if you're going to be directing traffic, you have to have that training, and they will issue a summons to anybody directing traffic that doesn't have that certification. I've seen, actually it was a deputy sheriff, I got a ticket once because he didn't have it. So it is a big deal. So other than that, we've been busy, we've been very busy, especially for this time of year, even today, and moving forward.
Thank you. Rec Department.
I just flew in.
Well, that's because you're busy.
We have a lot going on. This month we have our trivia night on Friday night, 7 o'clock at the Village Store. Feel free to come and join a team or bring people with you and make a team. It's been a lot of fun. Every month we've been doing it and it's been great. We have our spring extravaganza on March 30th. Let me see here, and let me get all my details. It starts at 9:30 and goes till 11:30. It's a pancake breakfast with an egg hunt, games, and prizes. We are looking for volunteers and donations. There's a $5 plate suggested donation when you get there. It's a lot of fun. It's our second annual, and we're all looking forward to it. It was a lot of fun last year. Softball and t-ball, the registration is pretty much closed at this point. We have so many kids signed up, so we're done with that. We're excited for all the games coming up. That's it.
Look at the calendar.
Yeah. That's it for now anyway, yeah.
Great. Well, seeing I didn't miss anybody, did I? No? So, signature items.
Right.
Aren't any, okay, and we did the paychecks. We are going to go into non-public, the first non-public per RSA 91-A:3, Roman numeral 2, parentheses, small a, dismissal, promotion, or compensation of any public employee, or the disciplining of such employee, or the investigating of any charges against him or her, unless the employee affected, 1, has a right to a meeting, and 2, requests that the meeting be open, in which case the request shall be granted. The second non-public RSA 91-A:3, Roman numeral 2, small c, matters which, if discussed in public, would likely affect adversely the reputation of any person other than a member of the public body itself, unless such person requests an open meeting. This exemption shall extend to any application for assistance or tax abatement waiver of a fee, fine, or other levy if based on inability to pay or poverty of the applicant. Poll of the board?
Adam, aye.
John, aye.
Mike, aye. We are in non-public session.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.